Structurally insulated panels. The great thing about building with SIPs is you get something that's 3 times as strong as a stick-framed house. It's already insulated as it goes up, fast, and the air tightness is unmatched. They also use 1/10 the amount of lumber used in a regular home.
One of the most exciting thing that's going on in the solar energy industry is a building integrated solar module, where instead of mounting a rack on the roof and then putting the solar panels on that rack, now we're taking the solar panels and making them part of the roof itself, actually turning the solar panel into a building product.
This is the solar material underneath.
Solar energy really began in the 1950s when Bell Lab came up with the first solar energy cell. And that solar energy cell was then starting to be used in remote sites for sensors and in spacecraft like satellites, where it was the least cost option.
This is a Telstar satellite up above. It's the first commercial use of the Bell photovoltaic cell. And these cells here can never run out and can never break down. There's no moving parts.
But here, terrestrially, it really didn't become the least cost option for many, many applications until the mid-70s, where we started to see it in remote homes, where we started to see it on call boxes for the police, these sorts of applications. In the early 70s, we were paying as much as $200 per watt of solar panel, whereas today we're paying close to $3 or $4 a watt. So the price has dropped dramatically over the past 30 years. This is one of the main factors in bringing solar power to our homes today, is that number one, we're seeing solar panels themselves, the type that produce electricity, becoming much, much cheaper. And we're finding that the equipment that goes along with it much more reliable.
Things were going great, but then a few mistakes showed up.
Are we looking over there? Guys, talk to me!
Nothing's absolutely perfect. In a perfect world, everything works out.
The problem was either in Bill's design or in the factory or in the installation, and no one was willing to admit they'd made the mistake. I realized too late that I should have had the company install their own panels. As Bill likes to say, a mistake is not a mistake if you can fix it. The problem was, how much would that cost?
Like I had mentioned to you before.
My framer had overlooked one too many errors. I had to fire him and hire another. We lost our budget for finishing the inside of the house. But we moved on, finishing our passive solar system. Sun would come in through the south-facing windows, and heat would be stored in a thermal mass wall. Inside the same wall existed our chimney. As heat rises up through the chimney, it heats up another concrete duct where air will be forced down from our air handler once it's in place. Running months behind schedule and without any mechanical systems yet installed, the temperature indoors never dropped below 42 degrees, even when it was 7 degrees outside.
First night in our bedroom, that is sheetrocked, and we were watching the moon. It was a full moon last night. And this morning we woke up to the sunrise, which was incredible.
But passive solar is only our backup system. To heat and cool a house, we went geothermal, using the temperature of water from our own well.
So I've got relatively warm well water, relatively cold refrigerant. I've making the refrigerant relatively warmer. I've transferred the energy to it. I've compressed it. I've put it into, and becomes a very hot gas. I put it into an air heat exchanger where I pull relatively cold air against the relatively warm refrigerant. I warm the air. Sounds very complex, but everyone has one of these in their home. It's called a refrigerator.
We're taking the air in low at the bottom and heating and cooling at the perimeter registers, and we're creating a big circulation loop through the whole house.
Our aerated floor is working.
Our bank gave us a 3-month extension. We worked day and night, hurrying through one of the coldest winters in Long Island to pass inspection. As Bill Chaliff likes to say, our house is the Swiss watch of solar homes, with more going on per square foot than any other house he's designed. We don't burn oil, hardly any natural gas, and we don't pollute the environment.
You feel exposed, huh?
After 2 years, our solar system has paid for itself through cashback incentives from our power company and tax credits from New York's IRS. We continue to get 1/3 of our electricity free from the sun, and we sell electricity we don't use back to the power company. For our total energy consumption last year, we spent $2,000 less than comparable homes in the area. We've been qualified high above the standards for an Energy Star home, and colleges have scheduled field trips for architecture and environmental studies. As the cost of oil goes up, we will certainly feel an increase in the value of our small home. Ahalani, living in harmony with the sun.